Hello, welcome to the Medusa Yarn and Fiber YouTube channel. My name is Nikki and I'm your host. This channel is about my crafting endeavors, and today's video is about the Mountain Quilt Fest that took place in Pigeon Forge, East Tennessee back at the beginning of June. So grab a beverage, your favorite craft to craft with me, and enjoy the video.
Wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine. Wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine. Wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine. Wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine.
So, for those of you who are returning viewers, you're probably wondering, I've never done a quilting video before. And that's because I'm a pretty new quilter. I'd say less than 2 years, maybe a year and a half, or maybe close to 2 years that I've been quilting. Now, I've been a sewer or sewist for a long time off and on. I've made garments for myself, garments for my daughter, but very much an amateur sewist. And I ended up upgrading my sewing machine just under 2 years ago to a little Burnett Academy, and I decided I was going to also start quilting. And let me tell you, it's a rabbit hole that I'm wanting to get down even further, but it's the least convenient of my crafts simply because it's not very portable. Mind you, I have recently been introduced to English paper piecing, and that was a game changer. So I'm not going to show you any of my sewn quilts today or my latest English paper piecing project. Today I'm just going to focus on my fabric haul as well as footage from Quiltfest. I took a picture of all the quilts. More about that near the end of the video. So instead, what I'm going to do today is just talk about the fabric I purchased, and because it's already been 2 weeks, I'm already forgetting specifics on the fabric. So let me first of all show you some half yards that I picked up that are all Riley Blake. The Sonnet Dusk color line, which I think is new this year. That's an example of that one. From the same fabric line, Sonnet Dusk. I love these pinks and mauves, and then thrown in with this mustardy orange color. Just love it. So I have those two, and then this one is also, it's another Riley Blake, but maybe it's not Sonnet Dusk. Again, I'm already forgetting, which is a nice sort of, will be a fun lining in a project bag. And then, of course, the contrasting mustardy yellow that I just absolutely love. So yeah. Oh, look at that. It just is so, so beautiful. I cannot wait to start sewing with these ones. I think they'll probably start out in project bags. I've been on a project bag making sort of mission. Perfecting some of my finishing techniques. That's my main problem with my sewing, is that by the time I'm done, I'm done. And I tend not, like, you know, with skirts I've made for myself or dresses I've made for my daughter, I tend not to do the finishing touches that really I justify thinking, well, no one's going to see it because it's on the inside, or it's, you know, on the waistband, and I rarely tuck anything in, you know, all the excuses. So I am focusing on finishing and making sure the details of my work are pristine, and then I'll start showing it a little bit. Now with my quilting, it'll be a little bit harder for me to show you guys some of the quilts I've made because they're pretty hideous, but I love them. All right, so that's my Riley Blake fabric. Now I do have this one I actually didn't buy at Quiltfest. I bought at the Cherry Pit in Sevierville on my way to Quiltfest, or maybe it was on my way home. I stopped in at the local fabric store out in Sevierville, which I absolutely love. It's right near Dollywood, and it's just, It's a great, great fabric store. And I absolutely fell in love with this fabric. So I bought an entire yard of it. And again, if you're not, it's probably going to be a project bag, and then the remnants will go into a quilt. But I just absolutely fell in love with it. It's very antique-y looking, with the blue and the ivory, kind of dirty ivory look. And it's a Moda fabric, and it's a reproduction from the 1800s. So it's reproduced from the line called Sarah's Story, 1830 to 1850, by the designer Betsy Chian. Holy moly. Chutchian, I think, by Moda. Anyway, it's absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait to start sewing with it. It's just so beautiful, and so it looks so antique-y. So that's a Moda fabric. Some more fabric that I purchased was, this is an older color, but I still like it. It's Canning Day Jelly Roll, and it's still in the plastic. You'll have to excuse me. Again, by Moda, and designed by Corey Yoder, Canning Day. So these really beautiful, springy, summery colors, which I think would look really good in a quilt for my daughter. All of her colors that she absolutely loves. But I think that's from last year, this color. I don't mind. Then I also bought more Moda. Funny enough, I bought the Cranberries and Cream. Again, not a new color from what I understand, but it's a layer cake. Sorry, the dogs are barking. With all these beautiful reds and creams. And what's so funny is, I guess I'm on, as you'll see from other stuff I bought, I must be on a bit of a red kick, because I've been stitching a lot of samplers that have a lot of red in them for cross stitching. But I bought this Cranberries and Cream by the Three Sisters for Moda Fabrics. And when I got home that day, this had come in the mail. Roslyn by Minnick Simpson, that I had purchased through the Fat Quarter Shop flash sale. So you can see I have a bit of a one-track mind these days, with red and cream, specifically that combination. I could have them reversed. Yeah, no, this is the one, the Roslyn one. I'm sorry, I'm being attacked by all my dogs right now. Hi, don't go near the fabric. Okay, so this is Willow, who's now sitting on the fabric. And then under my chair, under my chair is Bree. Come here, Bree. Come here. I got Bree and Willow, my two little babies. Hi. So Willow is about 3 years old, and she's a border collie. Bree is about 5 months old. Okay, as long as I'm touching her, she's fine. Bree is a mini doodle, and we got her as an Easter present for the kids. My two babies. Such very good dogs. Okay, no barking, okay? And don't do anything to the fabric. Oh. Good thing most crafters are also animal lovers. So, as you can see, back to the fabric. I had a one-track mind. Fat Quarter Shop flash sale. Quiltfest. All right, so when one of the classes I had hoped to take, but was full because of, it was a last-minute decision for me to go, was to Adita Sitar's, one of her classes. She was teaching several classes that week. Because last year when I went, I did take a class with her, the dot applique class, and she's from Laundry Basket Quilts, and she just has exquisite quilts. I absolutely loved taking a class with her because she was so fun, so down to earth. So I was trying to get into one of her classes, but they were all, the ones I wanted to were all sold out. She had one that still had spots available, but I didn't want to make it. It had cars on it. I didn't care too much about it. And I couldn't go that day anyway. The day that I did go out, it turns out it was for the best because she wasn't there. She was actually under the weather, so she had to cancel her class. So it's good that it's bad for her, obviously, but it's good that I hadn't been counting on that one day away from my family to do a quilting class with Edita sitar, you know, one of my all-time favorites, only to be like really disappointed. She's fine, you know, it was just a head cold or whatever. And then the other class I wanted to take was a long arm quilting class, but those were all full as well. So I didn't get into any classes, but that's fine because I can only ever get away for one day. And if I'm taking a class, I don't get the full experience of looking at the quilts and shopping, and vice versa. So this year, no classes, but I spent the entire day from 9 to 5 looking at quilts and buying fabric. So it was quite the treat. Okay, anyways, to go back to Edita sitar, this is fabric I actually bought from her at Quiltfest last year. It's a little charm pack from her Secret Stash Neutrals. So very, very neutral. And I also used this fabric in the project we did in her class. I'll show that in another video. And I loved this particular fabric so much that I bought a couple of half yards of it. It's the one with the blues and the grays, almost like a brown. It almost looks kind of like an engraving, but then it's got these pops of color, the blue and then yellow. Not quite a mustard, but a yellow. So I absolutely love this fabric, and she was selling it in half yards, so I bought 2 half yards last year. So I hope to get into one of her classes next year because she's such a great teacher. All right, a bargain I got was 5 fat quarters. That's what's so nice about these fabric festivals and quilting festivals. The deals are phenomenal. I don't even know what fabric this is yet. I haven't opened it, but I got 5 fat quarters in these beautiful purpley and cream combination fabric, and it was marked at $8.50, but then it was near the end of the day and was put into the fabric like basket bin, like bargain bin, and I think I got all of these for $3. So 5 fat quarters for $3. That would normally be $20 to $25. So I loved it, but like I said, I haven't even opened it up. Look at how pretty it's packaged. Don't even know what kind of fabric it is. Let's have a look, shall we? Feels nice. Sorry, no, Andover fabrics. I haven't used them before, but it'll look nice again, probably project bags. There's that one. Again, a mauve that's more like a purple. I love it. There's that one. I really like this one. This will be really pretty. It's like a contrasting fabric inside of a project bag, I'm thinking. Gorgeous. Looks like it's got little berries on it. I'm not too sure what those are supposed to be. It's okay. I like it. I wouldn't buy it outside of this set. Ooh, I like this one. Again, really nice, subtle patterning on it, so good for just about anything. All right, now I also got my hands on some French General reproduction. Sorry for any crinkling if the crinkling doesn't like you, or if you if you don't like the crinkling, I'm sorry. It doesn't like you either. All right, so French General Reproduction from Neff's Country Loft. Again, what's going on? This time it's red and more of a beigey color that I'm just absolutely loving. I've got samplers on the brain, like I said. 12 fat eighths. So I'm thinking this will very likely go in. I have no idea yet. We'll see. Obviously a quilt. I don't think I'll be making project bags with this one, but I absolutely loved it. And this is my first time getting my hands on some French General. Very exciting. And then I was very, very happy to snag a fat quarter bundle from Blackbird Designs, The Threads That Bind. Isn't that just delicious looking? I don't know the future of the company in terms of designs. Let's hope that things continue on. But oh my goodness, this is going to be a whole bunch of project bags. Actually, maybe not. Who knows, right? I've got so much fabric that I still need to sew up. This might, I'm going to wait and see what's, oh, who knows? Why do I even try to pretend to have plans, or that if I make any, it ever works out that way? I'm just going to let it sit next to my sewing machine and look pretty until I decide what to do with it. But look at, I mean, I'm not going to take it out of the... Taking the plastic off was as far as I'm going for you. I'm not taking it out of the ribbon because it just looks so pretty. And all of the colors are just absolutely gorgeous. The designing is masterful and beautiful, and I cannot wait to sew with this. All right, so that's the main part of my fabric haul. I do have a few panels I'm going to show. So let me explain why I decided to get a bunch of panels. First of all, okay, so how did I get into quilting to begin with? Well, I bought my Bernette from Bernina's. There's a Bernina here in Knoxville. And I was just upgrading from a regular old Brother sewing machine with all plastic parts that I bought at Joann's 15 years ago for like $50. So it was time to get into something a little bit better. And it worked fine, and I've given it to my daughter. But I wanted to kick things up a notch. So I went, and I could not afford a full-blown Bernina machine. So I decided to get the Bernette, which, you know, was still a chunk of change and is a good stepping stone to get something a little bit more slick in the future. And one of the things this woman kept telling me about when she was selling it to me is how it comes with a free motion quilting foot. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm not a quilter. And then she kept going back to it, and she showed it to me and showed me how it worked. I'm like, oh, cute. Okay, maybe I'll use it. Well, yes. Did I ever start using it? And to the point where I even went out and got a walking foot. I loved it so much. I started quilting as you go. I'll show you those things in another video. And I probably spent, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks just quilting and doing the quilting as you go at your machine. First of all, with the walking foot, and also with the free motion quilting foot. And I was completely addicted. And so I went to Quiltfest last year and tried out a bunch of long arm quilting machines. Now, of course, they're like $30,000 and I'm not going to buy one. But like any good crafter, I ended up buying one that is a non-computerized 15-inch throat Tin Lizzie, used, discontinued. They don't make them anymore, from a local woman. Dirt cheap. Under $2,000. That's all I'm going to say. I don't like to talk about money. I don't know. It's my Canadian upbringing. I don't know. Or how much you pay for things. So you can imagine my husband's surprise when I came home one day with a 12-foot long arm frame and sewing machine. He took one look at me and said, "No, I am not setting that thing up for you." So I set it up my damn self. Pardon my French. Pardon my French general. So I spent a day setting up this thing, this beast, in our basement. And it's a workhorse. And it works. It's wonderful. I'm still learning quite a bit on how to use the tension or how to adjust the tension. And because of its location in our basement and the fact that our basement has an uneven floor and has support beams, you know how basements have support posts, in the most inconvenient places, it's quite difficult for me to maneuver around it. But I still use it. So what I've done is I've gone out and instead of spending, hours and hours and hours piecing together quilts that I then might, inadvertently not get right due to my tension problems with my bobbin, you hear me, I went out and I got a bunch of panels. I let my daughter pick out a couple and I let my son, because panel quilts are fast, there's not as much piecing, and they're better maybe to practice with. So my daughter picked out this one, which was very unusual because she could have picked just about anything. This obviously was not at Quiltfest because it was at Dizzy Divas Fabrics, which is really close to where I live. I was surprised because she could have picked out the princess one, she could have picked out flowers, all the things that she would normally pick out. Instead, she picked out this peacock panel, which I love. This fabric's been around a while. My deepest apologies. The puppy knocked everything over. Bad dog, but you're so cute. Anyway, this fabric has been around a while. I've seen it in lots of different fabric stores. It's beautiful, got the purples and the teals and the gold. So I'll be making her a quilt with this. And a very straightforward quilt, small quilt. Essentially all I'm going to do is give it a nice big border and then quilt it and use it as practice on my long arm. Again, it's very addicting. Then I picked my son picked out a Halloween panel. It says trick or treat. Wait, no, this one I picked out because I love Halloween. So a trick or treat haunted house panel. And then my son picked out this one, which is quite similar. The haunted house, except it's purple, and then it's got the gnomes, the gnome bat. I don't know. I didn't even look closely at it. I just told him, pick one out and I'll make it for you. I guess they're supposed to kind of like maybe be kids dressed up for Halloween, but they're little gnomes. Anyway, very cute. So once I make the quilts with those and practice, specifically for tension, getting that tension right. Those of you who do long arm quilting, specifically with a workhorse like a Tin Lizzie, it's a struggle. Once I have that all nicely arranged and I feel very confident that my tension is good, I am going to practice on this gorgeous panel all of the different stitches that I can do. So it's basically this huge flower in all these different blues and aquamarine and purple. And at Bernina's, my other local fabric store, they have one of these up on the wall. And every part of the flower, every leaf or petal, I guess petal, I'm sorry, this is huge, has a different kind of stitch in it. So whether it's the feather stitching or I don't know all the terms for it yet, and I thought that would be a great way for me to practice the different stitches. This is a mess. I am so sorry. Brie, enough. Now, of course, the one that they have up on their wall at Bernina's has been done with a computerized Bernina. So it's beautiful. Mine is going to be completely hand guided. completely done by me. So it won't look nearly as nice, or it'll look better because I'll know I did it by hand and I didn't just set it and walk away. So yes, I'm very much looking forward to spending a bit more time with my long arm. It's just a logistic thing, you know. I got to figure out a different place to put it in our basement, but I'm very limited, obviously, for a 12-foot frame where I can put it. Anyway, enough about that. Now it's time for the eye candy. So the first few minutes will just be about showing you footage of me walking around looking at the different things. I did not photograph or catch, it's maybe 30% of the entire market. So I didn't, it's just a snippet. And then I photographed almost all of the quilts for you and put them into a slideshow that's about 15 minutes at the end of the video. And in that slideshow, there are little videos of the Best in Show large quilt, which is mind-blowingly beautiful, and the Best in Show small, which is just an optical delight. So those are just a couple minutes in, and I'm kicking myself because there were a collection of quilts I didn't photograph, and which were the Quilts of Valor, which are beautiful and meaningful, but it was at the end of the day and my battery had died. And so right before I got to that aisle of the quilts, my battery died and it was 4:30, and by the time I got out to my car, it was just time to go home. So I feel really badly about that. I would have really liked to have photographed those ones. So otherwise, all the rest are up here, and I think those are the only ones I missed. Whatever was down the aisle of the Quilts of Valor and anything around that likely didn't get photographed. So enjoy the slideshow. I hope you feel some inspiration. There's just some stunning examples of some amazing creativity. And please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification button. And you can come and find me on social media in all the usual places as Medusa Yarn and Fiber. And I do have a website where I sell hand-dyed yarn and cross-stitch fabric called medusayarn.com. So please come and find me and enjoy the video. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.